We are here. All right, guys, let me give you a super short introduction. Today, we have a conversation day with my mom for you guys listening practice, but also thinking practice. We're gonna do a Q&A later, so be sure to pay attention. If you're questioning, who is this person? It's my real mom, not just my TikTok mom, my real mother. So, why is she here? Today we are talking about self esteem. And what is her purpose here? Well, she can tell you that.
Hello, everyone. Well, for the one who doesn't know me, I'm actually, that's for sure, the mom of Lucas, and we are doing together this streaming because I have my own website, or how do you call it? No, it's not a website, is it? Whatever, on TikTok, where you can follow me because I have had a lot of experience in life, and especially with problems and depression, and how to get out. We're not going to talk about that now, but soon. I wrote a book, and I'm still writing it further on. And you will actually will after Lucas is now very busy with everything, but there will come a time that we go through the book and through my life. And why do I want to do that? Well, I'm an experience expert, which means that I don't have only my experience, but a lot of experience from people. I worked 40 years in psychiatry as an experience expert, and that means that I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm only got a lot of experiences from out of my own life and other lives, because, well, I've heard so much, I've helped so much people. That's what I am, and that's why I'm here. And I love to do this together with you because I'm not the expert on self esteem. I have my experiences with self esteem, and you have them too.
Hmm. Absolutely. Is your internet still working?
Yes.
Good. So, we're talking about self esteem today. Why did we choose this topic?
Well, I asked the group last month which topics they would like to discuss about, and top one was self-esteem. But there's also, and that's related, of course, with each other. Well, everything is almost related with each other. But
Hmm.
let me see. I always forget the word in English. It's terrible. My English is not too good, so. Being invisible or feeling invisible, uh, those topics are always, yeah, it's always the one contact with the others and otherwise. So that's why we took this object or subject. How do you call it? Up,
Subject.
okay, yeah, you're the English teacher. No, I'm not.
Hey, helping each other out.
Yes.
Yes, so we're talking about self esteem today. And self esteem, this word can be quite confusing to a lot of people. So, would you like to introduce the subject of self esteem? What does it mean, at least to you?
For me, it's that I have a good picture of who I am or what I want. Well, that took a lot of years, that's for sure. I didn't grow
Mhm.
up with it. But this is who I am. This is what I want. This is my good side. This is my bad side, if you call it like that, good or bad. But I totally accept myself. I have self love. And from there out, I have self-esteem. Those things must be there. That's my experience before you got a good self-esteem, because when you have that, people can tell you things and you're not right away flabbergasted, or go down, or think, oh, I'm wrong. So make do I make myself
Mm-hmm.
clear?
Yes, you're giving the definition and an example. And I thought I also tried to write down an example, but made for 6-year-olds. So I use my definition of self-esteem and I let ChatGPT explain it to a 6-year-old. So let me tell you how I think it about it. I think that self-esteem is how you feel about yourself on the inside. It's
Yeah.
about how much you like and value yourself. Imagine you have a special treasure box, and inside that box are all the good things about you. When you have a high self esteem, your treasure box is full of wonderful things like being kind, smart, helpful, and you feel happy and proud of who you are. That's self esteem.
Yes, but also the things in the box you don't like, you accept them,
Yes,
because you're whole. You're
yes.
not only good. You also have some topics which you want to, well, which you don't accept, but you have to accept them.
Mm. So
But
just remember
yeah,
self esteem, how you feel on the inside,
yes,
and who you are on the inside, your values, those kind of things. That's
yes,
self esteem to us, at least.
yes, yes. I don't know how it's with the people on who are looking now, if they can agree with that, or say you forget
Mm.
something, or
How would you guys describe self esteem in one sentence? What do you guys think is the definition of self esteem, at least to you? Like, how do you see self esteem? Would you say like a treasure box on your inside is a good description? Or do you think it's all about your values? What do you think about it?
yeah, it's difficult.
Being confident as I am, question mark, interesting point. Be clear about what you are and what you are worth. Very
Yes.
nice. Maybe accept the good and bad in me. Absolutely, Natty. Loving and caring about yourself. Yes, Dorla. It's the reflection of your mindset. Interesting. Interesting. The way you feel about yourself, FNY. Accept myself. Yes. When you feel confident about yourself, absolutely. It's about self love. Um, you are correct. You are correct. Thank you so much, Wa, for all your support. I appreciate you. I do want to make one point before moving on. Self esteem is not the same thing as self confidence. There's a difference between self esteem and self confidence. Um, I don't know if my mom agrees with me.
No, just explain.
So I use the same description for self confidence as I use for self esteem. So, self confidence, on the other hand, is about how you feel on the outside when you do something. It's like a superpower that helps you believe in yourself and your abilities. Let's say you want to ride a bicycle without training wheels. If you have self confidence, you trust that you can do it. Even if you're a little scared or unsure at first, you know you can keep trying and get better with practice. So, the difference between self esteem and self confidence is that self esteem is how you feel on the inside, your treasure box of good things and bad things. And self confidence is about the belief about yourself and the feeling of what you are capable of doing. So it's a small difference. It's a small difference between the two. But today we'll mainly focus on that inside part.
Yes, yes. And to start with, I think it It takes. I want to, because I thought, and why don't we have self-esteem when we are born? Well, some people have, but most of us not. And when you grow up, your parents want you to, they love you and they want you to be happy, and they have their own thoughts about what is necessary for you to be happy. So they say perhaps, well, it's good for you, or I like you to be a professor, but actually,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be a professor, but you love your parents and you don't want to, you want them to feel good. So, and you want to be seen by your parents, to be loved by your parents. It's not only your parents, it can be a teacher or some other important person for you. But that's if you hear all the time, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that, then you are going to believe that you can't do that. So I have a very short story from George Bucay, and I wanted to read this for you because it's such a lovely story. George Bucay is a psychiatrist from Buenos Aires, and he wrote a book. The title is Let Me Tell You a Story, and this is one of his stories. Okay. When I was a small boy, I loved going to the circus. Animal acts were my favorite. I was quite impressed by the elephant, who is, as I found out later, the favorite animal of all children. The elephant's part of the show was a display of his huge weight, his immense size and power. Then, as the show was approaching its end, slightly before the elephant had to return to his tent, he was standing tied to a tiny wooden stake driven partially into the ground. A chain was wrapped around his feet. The size of the stake was very small, and the part of it was driven into the ground was even smaller. The chain that was wrapped around the legs of the elephants was quite large, but it seemed quite obvious, even to my childish mind, that an elephant whose power was so large, so immense, that it could rip trees off the ground and hurl them to others, was more than enough to let the elephant just rise and walk away. That was the mystery of the elephant. What sorts of immense force could keep the elephant tied to that tiny stake? Why didn't he rise and walk away? When I was 5 or 6 years old, I put great trust in the wisdom of the elder people. So I asked my teacher, my father, and my uncle about the mystery of the elephant. I don't remember anymore who gave me the particular answer, but one of the replies was that the elephant doesn't run away because he's tame. Then I asked the obvious question, if he's tame, why do they have to chain him? I don't think I ever got a satisfactory answer. As time went by, I forgot all about the mystery of the huge elephant and the tiny stake. The mystery would only resurface when I was at the company of others who had wondered about the same thing. Then, a few years ago, I discovered that someone knew why the elephant doesn't run away. The elephant doesn't run away because they have been tying him to a similar stake ever since he was very, very small too. I closed my eyes and tried to imagine the small newborn elephant chained to the ground. The small elephant would push, pull, and strangle with all his strength, trying to free himself, but he would fail. Despite all his efforts, he would fail again and again because the stake and chain was too big for his strength. The elephant would sleep exhausted from all his efforts to free himself and would wake the next day. All his struggles would fail the next day too, and the third day and the fourth day, and many tiresome, exhausting days after those. Then one day would come, a horrible day for the history of the elephant, a day that he would just give up and accept his fate, deciding that he was too weak to escape, that his strength was not enough, and he would never be enough. The huge and immensely powerful elephant that we see in the circus does not run away because the poor animal believes that he cannot do that. The memory of lack of strength he felt a little after his birth is now deeply engraved to his very soul and spirit. The worst of it
Mhm.
all, that he has never tried to free himself since. He never tried to test his powers again. We are a little bit like the circus elephant. We move through the world attached to hundreds of stakes that wrest from us our freedoms. We live thinking we can't do many things simply because once a long time ago, when we were small, we tried to do something and couldn't. We do the same thing to ourselves that the elephant did. We etch into our minds these matches. I can't, and I will never can. Well, you go on living conditioned by the memory of a Damien who not longer exists, who couldn't do it. Your only way, if you can do it, is to try again, putting your whole heart into it, your whole heart. You're strong, your chains are weak, and you get yourself free anytime you want. It's so beautiful.
Can you repeat the last sentence again for everyone?
You are strong. Your chains are weak, and you can set yourself free anytime you want.
You're like the elephant.
You are like the no, well, that is where we start the condition of the elephant. He thought, I can't get loose of this strain, and even if he was so old, he thought, he never tried it again. And
Hmm. Could
that's
you give the
conditioning.
title again and the writer for everyone here?
Yes, it's George Bouquet. It's do you know the name?
Yeah,
Oh, so you
yeah.
know him. George Bouquet,
The title.
and the title is from the book "Let Me Tell You a Story." And he has a patient in his book, and he helps
Hmm.
these patients by different stories, not only animal stories, but also about monks. It's very good.
Hmm. I see. Uh, it is a very good example. I think it's a very visual example, and it's a very straightforward example. So that's very good.
Yeah.
Let me just share the book name in the Discord so everybody has it.
Okay.
Trinity, I got it. I know Trinity is doing it, so I'll do
Great.
it.
Thank you, Trinity.
Do we go?
Okay. Well, this is where I just wanted to talk a little bit about the conditioning because there's a lot in ourselves from out of our mindset, and we think I've tried it before, I can't do it. But back to self-esteem, if
Hmm.
you first have to find out. I mean, when your parents or other people say to you, uh, it's good. You have to do this. Uh, you don't have to do it. You must do something what you want, and not do something because you want to be seen. Because that's the whole thing. We all want to be seen, which is normal, I think.
Hmm.
But
And what's the point?
yeah, so it starts as I thought said in the beginning with who am I inside? Who am I? What I want? Where do I want to go? What is my desire? It has to do with self love and complete attention to your inside.
It's a little complicated because you randomly bring up these steps. What are they referring to? Are they referring to how to improve? your self-esteem?
Sorry, there was something, a noise coming in.
Are they referring to how to improve your self-esteem?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things for me to improve your self-esteem. But not, yeah, it
Mhm.
starts there. It starts there. If how can I, how can I mean, when people say to me, "This is good for you," and I don't know what is good for me. Okay, I think, yeah, well, they say it will probably good for you. But you first have to figure out what is actually good for me. What do I want?
Mhm. And how does this relate to self-esteem, the topic we are talking about?
Well, as I told you in the beginning, if I know what I want, where I stand, where I want to go, uh, uh, perhaps also which people I want to have around me, or
Mhm.
what my opinions are, people can disagree with me, which is normal, happily. But
Mhm.
it doesn't make me feel, oh, they don't hear me, they don't see me, uh, and you know, do you understand what I said?
Mhm. I do. I'm not sure they do.
Oh no, well, ask them.
But I'm pretty sure that part of your explanation definitely comes through.
Okay.
Very well. Yes, so we are just trying to give an idea to you guys about what it means to have or to not have self-esteem, and how you can at least take a step in the right direction to be working on your self-esteem, so you are not stuck like the elephant in the story where you think you might not be able to do something. You are conditioned in a certain way, and then actually you are able to do these things. And just to give you a quick definition of the word conditioned, guys, I don't know if you even know how to type it. Conditioned just means somebody is putting a certain idea in your head. You are conditioned to do something this way. For example, some of you, when you are learning English, you are conditioned to doing only vocabulary, even though there are many different ways of doing English, but it's because of school. You have the lists of vocabulary, you are conditioned to do something in a certain way. And with self esteem, it's the same idea, that in this case, the elephant was conditioned to thinking like, I am not strong enough, I cannot escape, nothing will change. But in fact, the elephant grew, the elephant got stronger, and the elephant was able to escape, but he was so conditioned by the idea of I am not strong enough that he didn't do that.
No, he didn't take a risk to try it again,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
that's of course one of the actions you can take. But there's more necessary before you take those actions, because you have, of course, to feel safe in what you do. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but the
Mm-hmm.
nice condition is self-esteem is sure is also self-love, self-acceptation, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and don't compare yourself with other people, because that is what you do. Oh, he can do that, why can't I? Oh, she speaks better English than I. I'm not good, I will never learn it, because oh, she learned it in 1 year and I already are busy 10 years. And so it's also a negative thought about yourself all the time. I can't do this. Oh no, no, it's not going to work for me. Oh no, no, no. So it's that you have to get loose of, and that's
Mm-hmm.
difficult, if especially when for me it was so difficult, because my father said it, and he even said it when I was 45 years old, and I got a very great onderscheiding, wat is het ook weer? Wat is
Divorce?
onderscheiding?
Oh,
Sorry?
the yeah, my mom, she got a special medal in the Netherlands. The highest order you can receive as a civilian is the Order of the Knight, which
As a
my mom
volunteer.
received for
Yeah.
her volunteer work in our country. So she is technically a knight.
No, no,
She's a
it's actually
yes,
not
you are a Dutch
interesting.
knight.
No, no, and actually, it's not that easy. But it for me was it the most. It was not. I was 45 years old, and my father phoned, and we just had a party, and there were a lot of people, and had 20 kinds of flowers in the house, and so on. And he phoned and he said, "No, no, that's not possible. You can't do that. You can't win get something like that." And I thought, really, after 45 years, he still does it. And happily, I had done something about it for myself. But it could
Hmm.
be, if it wasn't strong enough, it could be get me down again.
Do
So
you
that's
think
how,
your Do you think your father was conditioned in some way to think that you would never change, like the elephant was
yeah,
conditioned that you would never
yeah.
change?
I think, yeah, for
Hmm.
sure. Because he actually said it to the others too, except for one. She could get
Mm.
everything in the higher school, and the other one were dumb, and they could work in a shop or whatever, you know, which is also very important. Let me tell that. But okay, so
Mhm.
yeah, and he will be conditioned in another way from his parents, and that's the same as, I don't know if I told it, but it's also in the book that
Mm.
I didn't get a lot of love from my father, but I finding out years and years and years later that he didn't get love from his parents. So that's another kind of condition. It's a lack of love. I mean, for him, it was normal to live without love. So why should he give me love?
Mhm. Yes, it's like what you have been taught is what you will teach to others. And this is very normal. This is a general thing. This is what you call culture and traditions. These are
Yes.
all based on, okay, they did it before me, so I teach it to the next generation. But you will see that a lot of times it's not only the positive and beautiful things about culture and traditions that are taught to the next generation, but it's also the things that are very questionable if they are actually good for people. And in this case, it's obvious that the father got conditioned like the small elephant when he was young, and he taught it when he was a big elephant to
Yes.
his daughter. So, and they have done experiments with this. I can give you a quick example. They made this experiment. This was a very brutal experiment. They put monkeys in a cage, and there was a banana at the top of the cage. And every time a monkey tried to climb the cage, they would spray the monkey with water, showing like you cannot get the banana. And the monkey would teach it to the other monkeys. Even the other monkeys had never been there, had never seen this. The
Yeah.
monkey
Yeah.
would show them, like, okay, you cannot do this. So then the other monkeys would come into the cage and they wouldn't even try to get the banana. Not because they knew what was going to happen or they had experience, just because somebody told them this is not a good thing to do, so don't do it.
Yeah.
And that is like typical conditioning. That is like, okay, because they told me so, or this is how I've been taught. So this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it can be others who do it for
Mm.
whatever reasons, because mostly it's out of love, or they're scared for something that would overcome
Mhm.
to you. But you can do it yourself. There are people who have parents who support them all the time. You can do that. You can do that. and still someone has a condition. I can't do it. I won't reach it, and so on. And that's something from inside. I figured it out. Can you be born with that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Exactly, exactly. But I just wanna give a quick intermediate, like a short break. I just wanna Many people, when you think about words like this, like self-esteem or self-confidence, people instantly become, they think about the negative things. They're like, okay, am I really self-confident? Am I really, doing the things I'm supposed to do? They never think about the positives. So I'm curious for the people here, what is the first word that comes up to you when you think about self-esteem? When you think about self-esteem, what is just the first word that would come up in your mind? And I wrote a few words down. I wrote anxious, maybe, sometimes even hurt. Maybe it has to do with sensitivity, self esteem. Um, and it definitely also has to do with self confidence. Maybe it has to do with growth. So I'm curious, what's the word you would link to self esteem? Self esteem is how you feel on the inside and how you value yourself, Devi. It's how you see your inside, the person who you are. I'm seeing some confidence, I'm seeing some love yourself, positive, uniqueness, respect. These are great words. Achieve, progressing, self worth. Yes, embracing yourself. Very nice. What do you think, Mom? Do you think,
Yeah, yeah. They're very nice words. I can find, yeah, but one is for me the most important also is your whole. You're unique. Someone wrote unique. You're unique and you're whole, and you're whole even with your dark sides. Uh, you're a whole person.
WHOL?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
not the other one.
and of
Yeah,
course,
don't look down on yourself. Nice.
sorry.
Somebody said, "Don't look down on yourself."
Yeah.
Shilin said
Yes, but it is difficult. That is very difficult. Especially when you have had a lot of negative uh, problems or situations or hurts that are figured out you can't do it, you tried and you tried like the elephant. But you also
that.
have, and that's what we're going to speak about, also about feeling invisible, because that has to do, I think, with self esteem. Uh, but you also have to figure out you have your being and you have your ego. And your ego
Hmm.
is important, that's for sure, because you have to participate in a group and you have to know how to handle and so on. But what we see, and when we get older and ask elderly people, they're going even more back to being and not to ego, because it's about being inside.
Okay,
Who?
this is. I'm gonna. I need to slow you down because this is gonna be too complicated for
Yeah,
almost
sorry.
anyone watching. Gonna take
Yeah,
it a step
okay.
back.
Yeah, okay, okay.
I, I would want to take it a step back actually to because I think we need to get lessons out of this. It's not only about defining what it is, but I think it's important to think about. In your case, maybe you were conditioned by your father. But then let's look at the opposite. How do you think a parent can help their child's self esteem? How can they support it instead of break it down?
Well, it's not only by parents, but especially also here in psychiatry, with the clients. I was allowed to support. Um, you know, you are a person. You are a unique person, and okay, I'll take first the clients. people have this disorder, and the book says if you have this disorder you can't do that. So it's so you get a very strange view of a person, but inside the person has its own feelings, like I can be happy, I want to be that, do this, or I would love to do that, and that makes me happy. Instead of
Mhm.
saying no, you can't do that, no, you can say okay, okay. Even if you can think as a care worker, uh, that's not going to do good for him. Don't say, you can think it, but don't say it. Just say, okay, this is what you want. Let's figure out what you need to get there, and then support the
Yeah, you take
person
the
to get
positive
there.
angle, the upwards
Yes,
angle.
yes, yes. And that you can do also with children. I mean, um, don't say you can't do that, although sure, a parent has to warn for some things, because if it's a small child, he doesn't know everything what happens in the world. So it's not always bad that the parents give advice, but there is a
Mhm.
certain age, I don't know when, but if a child wants to do something, and it's possible, because it can't be possible for the money or whatever, but if it's possible, let the child try it out. And sure, it depends on what he wants. You can't say to a child from 6 year old, okay, jump out of a plane and try it out. It's nonsense. But support him. Say it if it's going well. Say, oh, you're doing good. So give compliments
Mhm.
all the time. And if a person thinks I can't do it, ask why he thinks or she thinks he can't do it. Okay, what do you think you need to do it? Can I help you to figure it out? Okay?
Yes. So it's never about trying to solve someone's self-esteem because you can't. It's called self-esteem. It's the idea about themselves. You can
Yes.
only try to support that idea and help them improve that idea. And I think I can give an example because when I was teaching kindergarten kids, maybe they were 5 years old at that time, there was one girl, and she was very, very shy. She was a good learner. Her English was good, she had friends, but she was often very shy because she was just afraid of making mistakes. She was afraid of being laughed at by others, even though she wasn't that bad. She had good qualities about her, and her friends. I told the other girls in the class because they're all friends. I tried to tell the other girls in the class, like, hey, how about you do something together with her? Maybe you sing together, or you ask her, like, hey, can you explain this to me? That would be a very interesting way of helping her support herself. Jenna, why are you spamming? You're going to be muted for the whole live stream. I'm trying to explain something here. Congratulations. And Evie also muted for the whole live stream. Give me a second. So, in this case, this child became much less shy or super shy just because she saw, like, hey, I can do this just like they can do this. And it built her self-esteem, and it's not because I helped her out, but I showed at least her friends the right way of supporting her, because they're all friends, they all want to help each other out, and they're 4 years old. That's, if a 4 year old can do that, I'm sure you can do that too.
Yeah, yeah, you believed in the child. That's what she felt. He believes in
Hmm.
me. He believes I can do
Hmm.
it. And someone wrote while you were talking, unconditional loving from your children, with the good
Hmm.
and the bad things they do. So with the children, it's like that. But believing in someone else, and not letting you lead by your own ideas, advices, because what works for you doesn't have to work for another. I mean, that's the same that we talk here, and I try to give some tips from sometimes, but they worked for me. But perhaps they don't work or even work bad for you. You never know. We're all different.
Mm. Yes, and that's what I want to say. Everybody is different, and everybody maybe lacks self-esteem in a different way. I mean, you're probably confident about one of your things and not confident about the other thing. And it's the same with the self-esteem. You have different values than somebody else has. So you got to focus on those. When you're talking about uniqueness, you always have something in common with someone else. You are never 100% different from other people. Um, so you can improve your self-esteem together with other people who might have already worked on the thing you maybe lack in value.
Yeah, yeah, and don't compare yourself with others. Don't do that.
Hmm.
It's normal that you do it, but don't, because that
Hmm.
doesn't help your self-esteem.
Exactly, exactly. When people, there are a lot of people who look up to somebody else. They have an idol, or they have someone they, would really want to be. But remember that you're a different person. You don't have anything the same. You don't have anything in common with these people. So the best thing is you can just be obsessed with yourself. Try to improve yourself and improve your own value. So your self-esteem just rises through the roof, and you will stop looking at all these other people because they don't matter. For your self-esteem, the only person that's important is just yourself and valuing that person.
Yeah, it's you who wants to be happy, and you come alone on this world, and although we have people around us, but you have to do it yourself, all by yourself.
Mhm.
No one can give you a pill and say tomorrow you have self-esteem with this pill. It's quite a process. It's a hard work, and
Mm.
but you have to do it yourself.
Yes. Yes. So I wanted to take a little break. I think it's also a good time for a Q&A before you explain your second part. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to play a short thing where I wrote a few words down, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree, guys. It's very simple. You know how it works. We have the smile emoji and a cry emoji. I'm just comparing self-esteem to another word, and you can tell me if you think they mean the same thing or not. So, for example, self-esteem equals self-respect. What do you guys think? If you think you agree with that, you can click the smile emoji. If you don't agree with that, click the cry emoji. Self-esteem equals self-respect. What do you think? And what do you think, Mother?
I
Is
think it's
self-respect a part of it?
yes.
Mm.
For me, yeah.
The question was, do you think self-esteem equals or is the same as self-respect in some way? It's never exactly the same, but are they related to each other, yes or no? And for some people, it might be different. That's why I'm asking you, because it can be different for some people. So most people do, everybody almost thinks self-esteem is the same as self-respect. So I wanted to ask you another one. Do you guys think, and this one is maybe more difficult, do you guys think that self-esteem is basically just pride? Do you think self-esteem is pride, guys? And I cannot see where did the poll go? It broke. Give me a second. I need to reset the poll. It broke on my screen. Give me a second. There it is. Do you guys think um, self-esteem is just pride? Because you're saying, you gotta value yourself for these things, and you gotta pride the things you do. So it might be the same for you. I can say no? Yeah. And why do you guys say no after you click the button? You can tell me why you don't think it's just pride. Somehow, but not all. Yes, maybe a part of self-esteem is also pride. Because you got to be proud of who you are, right? You got to have
Right.
you have that self-respect. You got to be proud of the person at least maybe you're becoming compared to 5 years ago. Too superficial? Yes. Maybe pride is the more superficial version of self-esteem, but I think, in my opinion, pride is definitely a part of self-esteem.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mom?
Yes, I agree. Especially the way
Hmm.
you say it, you can be so proud that you reached your goal. Or for me, that I got out of my depression, I was super proud. How do you call it?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. For me, it belongs also. Yeah.
No. And let me give you one more because I think it's important to just think about these things as a part of, yes. Um, Self-esteem, a part of self-esteem is dignity. Guys, do you know the word dignity? A part of self-esteem or self-esteem is just dignity. The dignity for yourself to accept who you are. And I'll give you a definition of dignity, guys, don't worry. I'll give you the definition. So dignity is just the manner or the style in which you behave. It is similar. It's a sense of pride in oneself, but it is self-respect. So these words, they're all very closely related. That's why I'm asking them. But dignity is like the more composed version of pride. Pride can be showing off, but dignity is accepting who you are in a positive way and respecting that person, but not showing it off. So, what do you think, Mom? Is dignity part of self esteem?
Well, in my feeling, it's not, but the way you explained it,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a difficult one because dignity
Mm.
can be so much also in the way you behave to the outside.
Mm.
And
Yes.
when you see that, okay, we talk about later about feeling invisible, but when you walk with your head down
Mm-hmm.
to the ground, or that you walk up, that makes for your self-esteem also is very important to show this is
Mm-hmm.
me. I'm okay. I'm good, and I accept myself. So you can show it to the world.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay, the last one. I have one more, and this is more of a statement. This is when your self esteem is high. So, when you have a high self esteem, it is the closest to your true self that you can be. It is closest to the best version of you that you can be. Do you agree or don't agree? If you agree, click the smile emoji. If you don't agree, click the cry emoji. I'll say it one more time. When your self esteem is high, that is the closest you can be to the best version of yourself, to the true self, as you call it, like the person maybe you're meant to be, or at least the person who you are. Difficult questions, but that's what it's about. What do you think, Mom?
Well, you actually said two different things: meant to be or who you are. If you
Mm.
say it in the way you meant to be, it could be the ego, which is not
Mhm.
wrong, but then it's for the outside. And who you are is
Mhm.
the inside. So they're two different things for me.
Smart. Well, well. Listen, that is
Sometimes.
true. Yes. Often, often we say. Yes. So that's a little bit about self-esteem, just to check how you guys also feel about it and the idea you have about it. Does
Compare, yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
have a question about self-esteem or conditioning or how to support someone's self-esteem, specifically those things, or how we feel about self-esteem? Somebody says how to maintain our self-esteem or how to uncondition yourself. Good question.
Yeah, well, you can read a lot about that. Um, well, some things. And in the next part, being invisible, you hear things too, because those two are connected. Just
Mm-hmm.
try to find out, who am I? Two, what do I want? What makes me
Mm-hmm.
happy? Do something what
Mm-hmm.
you want, and not while you want to be seen. Uh, so uh, I can feel nice I've been if people see me or accept me. No, you have to accept first yourself. Stop feeling invisible. That's one very important. Confidence in yourself. I read it
You
there.
just want to say you matter.
Yeah, sure you matter. You sure you
Mm-hmm.
matter. Okay, self trust, self acceptation. Mark your goals. Mark your goals. And think about what are little and big successes for you. Also, the little ones are very important. Say to
Mm-hmm.
yourself, or what I said before, put post its on mirrors or whatever and say, I'm strong. I can do it. I'm I'm worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Then take good rest. Structure is very important too. Give yourself things. And for the people who are perfectionists, 100% perfectionist is not possible, I think. But if you think it must be 100, try to be
Mm-hmm.
95 or 90 and build it a little bit down. So be not too hard on yourself. That's,
Mm-hmm.
I think, for me, and one is also important. What is your line? What is your red button? Don't let people walk over your border or say stop. And if someone
Mm-hmm.
puts your red button, find out why is it, why you get so angry now? Why?
Yes. Exactly. Self esteem is about your values, and you have both positive values, things you are good at, and the things maybe you're not so good at, or mistakes you make. But mistakes do not define who you are, just as only the positive don't define who you are. It's the combination of all these things that is you. And you are not perfect, just like anyone else in the world. Nobody's perfect.
No.
People try to be, but it's a hard road. They will find out, maybe too late. Everybody has positive things, negative things about them, things they're good at, things they're less good at. And it's about, maybe it's about trying to focus on the positive things that you can do and accepting the things that you're just not that good in. And maybe you can try and work on them to also get them into a more positive light if you really want to improve those things about
Yes.
yourself.
And write it down. I had to do that for a while. I had to write the things I did on a day in my book. And at the end of the day, I have to give it a plus or a minus. So I gave plus, minus.
Mm-hmm.
And what you figure out is that your thoughts are always more negative than what you did, because at the end of the day, normally the total amount of the pluses were bigger than the minuses.
Mm.
So it helps. That
Yes.
helps.
And what I sometimes do is I'm not really a super emotional person because I'm very focused on my to-do list, the things I have to do every day. But when an emotion comes up for whatever reason, I will just start writing for a few minutes. I just write what I'm thinking about, how I'm feeling, and why I think I'm feeling in this way. Because this is part of my value. Like, why does this thing make me feel emotional? Why does it make me feel bad about who I am? Or why does it make me feel so good about who I am? Because I feel like it's a part of my self esteem. So I'll write about it to, at least figure out, okay, where does this come from? And is this a good thing or a bad thing? And maybe when I write about it, the next time it won't happen again. Or I can be proud of what I did because there's the pride. I can be proud of the decision that I made to hold on to my value, even though, it cost me something else.
Yes, that's nice to do. It's very good to do, because what you do with it is that people don't want to feel bad feelings. We want to laugh the whole day, which is not possible. And
Mm.
but bad feelings, "Oh, I feel bad." That's not a good feeling. But by putting them away, you don't help yourself. Just sit down and feel the feeling, and let it feel, let it go. I mean, let it go.
Mm.
The feeling needs attention. So if you're sad, give it
Mhm.
attention. Not 3 weeks after each other, that's not good, but I mean, just for a moment, give it attention, and then go on and try to find positive things. And even positive things can be so small now in this part of the year. I mean, the green on the trees, which is growing very fast now, and the little birds making their nest. Yeah, someone think, really, if you get more attention to that, that helps you, because there in this world is enough and bad things, but there are a lot of nice things in this world.
Mhm. Absolutely. There are a lot of very beautiful things in this world.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Cindy, for your support.
I want to talk about feeling invisible a little bit, because that's another topic which has to do, of course, with self-esteem too. Um, but I have a question for you who are out there. Um, do you know it, feeling invisible, and what kind of parts do you hide from others? What parts do you not
Mm,
accept for yourself?
yeah. So, have you ever felt invisible? And is there a part about yourself which you maybe haven't accepted until now because you just don't bring them up? That's a very good point. I think maybe what I can talk about this because I think maybe when I was younger, I knew that some things I just didn't address. There were just things that I left unsaid, as they said, things I didn't touch. But I think at this age, I have been over basically everything inside my head where I thought this is either, this is adds value or it's something I'm weak at. I think I've been over everything. So I don't think currently there's anything I'm truly hiding from people, but I've definitely sometimes felt invisible in certain situations where I'm like, what about my emotions?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
where do
yeah,
I have a spot, a place? So
yeah,
I can definitely attest to that, as they say, guys. Beautiful word, attest. I can definitely feel myself in that situation.
yeah, yeah. Nice.
Yes, Trinity is saying invisible. Yes, absolutely. But I have nothing to do with hiding something. But it has nothing to do with hiding something. That's good. Um,
No, it's
I think
it's
so. I think better if people never see me. Interesting.
yes, that's one of the well known. Um,
Yes.
Nobody will see me. Nobody miss me. They don't see me. I'm here. They see me not the way I am, the way who I am, the different roles I play. My thoughts and feelings don't matter to anyone. So a lot of people feel it like that. So it's not always about hiding, but it's about feeling invisible. And that
Hmm.
could be by growing up in an environment which is not very safe to speak about your feelings or what you want.
Hmm.
Um, and because there must be an emotional space in the environment to speak you out. And well, that can be for several reasons. But there's
Do you
also
mean to say everybody needs somebody? Just to quickly interject there. Everybody needs a person to be able to talk to, even if it's
yes.
themselves.
Well, we're
Mm.
yeah. I think we need each other in this world. Um, sure. I mean, I can't imagine living all alone on this world. I wouldn't. I wouldn't feel very nice. Uh, I don't know if it's we're people. We're not animals. So and perhaps
Well,
they
some
would
animals are
feel.
very good at showing their feelings to each other.
Yeah, but it has also to the feeling that people neglect you. Um,
Hmm.
you 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 didn't have to, you they didn't learn you to be assertive. Terrible that English.
Mm.
So you cannot
Asser-
speak out, and then if you can't.
assertive.
Yeah, if you cannot speak out, you can get your feeling by yourself. Oh, my thoughts and
Mhm.
feelings are not important. It's also to
Mhm.
do with not to have fear to speak out. Imagine if I tell this, I could get a quarrel with someone. So, um, and that was one I wrote about, and I never thought about it because I do that too. Is I expect
Mhm.
from people that they know what I think. I sit on the couch. I don't feel well, and but if I look like I don't feel well, people perhaps will ask me, "Hey, it's not going well." If I see your face, but if I sit there smiling, uh, people can't guess that I don't feel well. So we
Mm.
expect from others also things, and then you have a lack of a self awareness. Uh, there we go again. What do you need? What do you want? What do you love? And of course, an illness can bring it too that you want to be invisible or feel invisible. And one of the examples, and everyone I think knows that, is that a person's in a wheelchair is walking together with a partner, and they speak to the partner over the person in the wheelchair.
Mhm.
That's terrible. So you they don't see you. I'm here. I'm sitting here.
Yes. Yes. It's always specific individuals, but I think it can happen to anyone at any time.
Yeah.
Like the strongest people who seem the strongest are often also people who feel invisible. Maybe because they put up a front for people, but the real person they keep hidden inside. And maybe
Yeah.
this is a part of self esteem. This is the real self esteem that you show people that weak part of yourself too. So you don't have to be invisible. You can show your true self, no matter how strong or how weak that person is.
Yeah, vulnerability is for me power. It's no weakness. It's real power. But that's what
Mhm.
I think. I think it lovely when someone shows us weakness, because it's a human being. It's so
Mhm.
strange that someone always be is a strong person and everything is go look on the internet, TikTok or whatever. Everyone is happy and nice and well, that's a lie.
Yes. Remember that whenever anybody is posting their happy moments, they will never be posting their sad moments.
No.
They will only show the beautiful things. And there are some people who are overly spamming sad moments, but they just want attention.
Mhm. Yeah, that's right.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You will see this a lot of times with people who are very popular online. That even though they have a big following, they have a lot of friends and those kind of things, they actually feel invisible because they cannot show their true self, and they don't have people that are really close to them and really, really know them. Sure, there's a lot of people, but because there's a lot of people, it's like you cannot see the forest because of you cannot see the tree because of the forest. It's the same kind
Yeah,
of deal.
yeah.
Um,
So that's why,
and that is sad to
yeah,
see.
yeah. That's why someone said social media is fake. Yeah, it is fake, and actually, it's
Mm.
okay. I'm an elder woman, so I'm not your age anymore. But we as elderly people are on the internet, see what happens, and of course, I'm there. I'm on X. I'm on Twitter, and read there, but. There is so less real contact uh, with each other. I mean, look someone right in
Mhm.
the eyes live, um, and that's probably sure that's a bit scary because behind the screen no one can hurt you. But I think that for all this what we talk about today, it doesn't help the internet. And at least
Mhm.
what you do, okay, that's good, but not because you're my son, but that is helping. And also what I see or heard about Discord, that's nice, you can meet. But if you only do it on Discord or here, or you can't meet real people. Yeah, they're real, but they don't show the
We
other
are guys.
things. Sure, they're real, but they're not
Mhm.
bots. But yeah, you understand.
Yes. Um, that's the thing. That's why I'm saying, you don't just join our Discord to learn English because it's really becoming a community. It's people supporting each other. If you read the text in Discord, it's people who are there for each other. So it's also for the people that might feel invisible. They come there and they see all these people there together, and I might be able to join them and not feel invisible anymore. And
Yeah.
that's the beautiful part about the internet, that you have a chance to connect with other people that you
Yes.
normally don't have, maybe in your direct environment, because maybe you're just in a wrong environment and everybody is against you, or it feels at least that way. So you can find this kind of support and help online.
Yes, I agree, but not for the 100%, because if you only stay online,
Mhm.
real life is outside, it's not behind the internet. Real life is in your village, in your neighborhood.
Mhm.
Yes, it's if you're feeling invisible, it's great to go to Discord or whatever. But there comes a day if you really want to learn or to feel visible, that you have to go outside. I think so.
Mhm.
Perhaps it's not so, but
Yes.
yeah,
It's
I
about confrontation at some point.
yes, yes.
But
So
yes. Mm.
So what you can all do about it, dus if you want to do something about it, try to find a safe place where you can meet people who really want to listen to you, not for 5 minutes, but who really want to listen to you and connect with them. Not only by internet, which is very nice because for the first time it's very safe. So there it's very good. But if you did it a long time on the internet, try it in real life, in a safe environment, and try to get more assertive. Speak out to learn. Speak out what you want,
Mhm.
and don't think that people have to agree with you. It's normal they disagree. It doesn't tell anything about you. It's their opinion, and that's okay. Okay, you can't agree. Well,
Mhm.
okay, but you don't have to have a quarrel. Um, and ask yourself, what is it? Why do I feel myself so invisible? Because that's important. When you know the why, you can do something about it if you want to.
Mhm.
So find out again. It's the same with self-esteem. What do I need? What do I want? What do I love? And if you try to speak that out, stand for it. This is what I need. This is
Mhm.
what makes me happy. In a relationship, you can't say, this is me and it must be done like this. That doesn't work. So compromises are normal. You're not alone in this.
Mm.
And what I said,
What do
don't
you
think
guys
that,
think about that? Just to interject. Let's see what they think about that idea.
yeah.
Do you guys think it's a good hint? Are you acting like that? Or should you be acting like that, guys? Mm. Or do you disagree? Because that's perfectly fine. Positive thinking and happiness in life.
Mhm.
Yes. Um, by saying invisible, you mean feeling ignored? Yes.
Yeah.
Like there is no place to share your feelings, also. Very important. It is. Matika, thank
Yeah.
you for the rose. Lena, to
Thank
follow.
you.
By the way, thank you for 50,000 likes.
Yes, very nice.
Mm, yes, we are here to learn. So that's what life about. Life is about. It
Yeah.
absolutely is. Learning even about yourself, especially about yourself, is what I would say,
Yeah.
because it's your life. Yourself is the thing you study for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're right.
You'll be
And
studying every day.
you study till you die.
Mm.
And
Study until
yeah,
you die. Yes.
yeah. Life, I mean, people are doing the challenges with you twice a week, but life is a challenge from every
Mhm.
day. So I have challenges
Mm.
enough. I won't do
Yeah.
your challenge.
So painful. So painful. Yes. I
Yeah.
understand you guys don't do my challenges because your brain is already breaking every day.
No, but life
That's
is
very
cool.
acceptable.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And it's not
Anything
always
else you
life
wanted
of
to
school.
add on to that, mother?
Yeah, what I want to add is what do you show verbal and what do you show non-verbal? So eye contact, give you people a smile. Uh, do you what I told you? Uh, uh, walk with your head up, not down. I mean, it helps your feeling also, but uh, if you smile and you walk around and look all the people, hello, hello, they see you. You're not invisible anymore. Perhaps you don't want to, then you better stay inside, but it helps. And also, what I told in the last thing to don't let people walk over your boundaries. Um,
Mm.
because that's the one, that's a very nasty one. Um, stop assuming, stop assuming that people don't see you. Because we all have had it, I think. Then I walk on the street and I wave to a person and I know he sees me because he looks me in the eyes and he doesn't say anything. And I think, oh my God,
Mm.
what did I do? And then actually later I meet the person. He said, huh? You waved at me? I didn't see. Yeah, you saw me. You looked me right into the eyes. No, I didn't see you. He was in his mind. He actually didn't see me. So, but I assumed
Yeah.
I had done something because he acted
Mm.
like that. So don't assume. Uh,
I always like this saying of remember that everybody is their own main character in their own story. In their story, you are just a background piece. So if you want to be able to talk to someone, you got to make it really obvious. And you got to, be clear about your intentions with these people to share your feelings because they might not see you, as my mom says. That's how it goes. That's simply how it goes because people have other things in their mind
yeah.
than, and sometimes they're not ready for it. They're really too busy.
They are too busy and they can't even read your mind. But if you don't
Mm,
show it, yeah, they don't know. But if they
mm,
react on a way you don't like, don't make it personal. It's
mm,
their reaction. It doesn't tell anything from you. It's their reaction.
mm,
And if you doubt, just check it. Hey, I my friend
mhm,
does it with me. Then she phones said, I don't know. I heard 2 weeks nothing from you. What's going on? Nothing. There's
mm.
nothing going on. I'm busy. Okay, great. And it's over, and everyone's happy again. Otherwise we're going to fill in. Um,
Mm,
and if you feel invisible yourself, you can give the other person uh, give the feeling that you don't want to have contact with that other person. If you make yourself invisible, the other person thinks, hmm, perhaps he or she doesn't want to see me or want to go out with me.
mhm.
So, yeah. Um, and one thing, not everyone likes your problem. They don't have to. If you have
Mhm.
a problem, you want to speak about it, uh, a real person wants to listen, although there's a difference between listening and hearing. I can listen to everyone, but do I hear a person what he tells me? So,
Mhm.
and then the last I think is, which helps always, although with also with your self-esteem, is sit down and write down all your qualities and talents on a paper. And don't be afraid to say no.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Don't be afraid to say no. Yeah, yeah.
Those are definitely some short takeaways when we are talking about self-esteem, and I think that's what is important about it, because there might be people here that feel like they might be missing some, and hearing those kind of things, I'm sure, can help out a lot. And I thought maybe I can start with the first question because I had an interesting thought. Because I was watching this video about motivation, it said if you fake bravery when you are terrified, that is bravery. And if you fake motivation when you are feeling down, that is motivation. Do you think this can also apply to self esteem? So if you fake self esteem when maybe you are not feeling like your values are there, are you actually working on your self esteem? Are you improving it?
Oh, Well, oh,
Can you fake self-esteem to improve
yeah,
it?
you can fake it. Yeah, I have had a friend, and everyone always said he has so much self-esteem, and actually he didn't
Mm.
have any self-esteem, but he could fake it so well. But in the meanwhile, he sat at home and he ate every evening the whole fridge because he felt so worthless.
How to start if you're feeling down or if you're starting to feel down. That's more about depression. Um, but if you're starting to feel like your self esteem is dwindling, like it's getting less, because you can see a lot of negative instead of the positive, I would say, write down those negative feelings because you have to address them. You can't just let them be because they will just grow and grow and grow. You can write them down, then you leave them maybe for a little bit, and then you read what you wrote. Um, and you can be like, okay, but is this really me? And then you look at the past week or the past month or the past year. You're like, okay, maybe in the bigger picture, this is actually not me. It was just me yesterday. And that is not who I am. So that doesn't have to do with your value. It's maybe just a little mistake.
No, but it's very difficult if your self-esteem is very, very low. To someone
Mm-hmm.
wrote it also to rationalize it. Um, that's actually I found out without help not possible. Not in the beginning. Later on, you have tools to do it with. Or I found actually after all these therapies I had, which didn't help me well, it helped me for 75%, but not for everything. I found other ways by listening on YouTube to my masters, as I call them. I have several masters I listen to, and they help me to get more self esteem.
Wouldn't you say that self esteem is something you are getting from yourself because you're looking at your values and you think you're improving them instead of somebody else having to tell you? Because that's more like
No.
self confidence.
Yeah, that's the two you do. You said self-confidence, self-esteem. No, you actually need people to get more self-esteem. We talked about the
Mhm.
parents. So we'll figure out with you how to get there. Can I help you and give compliments and say that it's nice that you give someone a compliment, or go with a hand through your hair and say you're beautiful, you're nice. It helps because
Mhm.
it's self-esteem is also a feeling. I mean, someone can tell me, oh, but you are so whatever, I don't know what, but you are so a nice person. But if I don't feel it inside, the whole world can say it, I'm a nice person. Actually, when they do it enough, I will probably are going to believe it. But you have to do it yourself, but you need other people with it. So if you have a very, very low self-esteem, I will advise find help for it, because
Mhm.
self-esteem is also learning to speak you out, and that's to be assertive, and that's also difficult for people.
Yes, for a lot of people, it's just about, just like English, it's about opening your mouth and starting to speak about these things you're feeling.
Yes.
Um, and most people need somebody else to talk to. It is not easy for most people to deal with these things by themselves. Number one, because they don't know. It's not like you get a class in high school about self-esteem. It is always good to talk to a professional about these things, and we would always support that.
Well, a professional or an experienced expert who has had the same problems, and I don't mean in all the countries. We're having it good in the Netherlands. We have several lines or websites where you can cheat and chat with no name. terrible word, anonymous.
Anonymously.
And then you can talk about those things, and there are people behind the screen who have had the same and find the way out. Just the same, we have
Mhm.
also about depression here a line, with people who people helps, and there are a lot of experienced experts behind it, because yes, professionals are important, but I always say, if you didn't have had the 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 disability or the illness yourself, you actually can't good feel how it feels to have this problem or disability or whatever.
How to improve self esteem if we have not been able to achieve our goals, even the smallest? It's very
Mm,
simple. Make your goals smaller. The
yeah.
goal number one, get out of bed. Goal number two, make your bed. Do the smallest thing you can do to achieve. It doesn't matter what. I do this on bad days too, because I have good days where I only mark the big things I do. And I have bad days where I'm trying to do something and it just doesn't work. I just cannot get myself to do stuff. So I start marking the small things that I'm doing. For example, I hung up the wash because it's been in the machine for a week and I haven't dealt with it. So I mark that. I'm like, okay, great. We did something positive. Let's see what else I can do. Because little steps, it's like a snowball effect. Snowball starts small, becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. If
Yeah.
you cannot achieve your goals, they are too big, make them smaller. How can I cut this into pieces to get to where I want to be, one step at a time?
Yes, you're right. And be proud of it. Say,
Mm.
yeah, I did it. I did it, actually. And someone said rewarding yourself. Yeah, that's a good thing. I rewarded
Mhm.
myself a lot when I was depressed. Huh? You think depressed, and you reward yourself. Yeah,
Mm.
there were times that it went better, but then suddenly I went down, and I told myself, well, you have 2 or 3 days, and then you get out, you go take a shower, and you're allowed to buy some things at the bakery to reward myself.
Mm. Yes, I have this. I can give you an example because every single week I make the videos for you. And the thing I am absolutely the worst at, where my value is the lowest, is making the video itself. I'm good at writing, I'm good at editing, I'm good at live streaming, but recording videos is my weakness. It's always been my weakness. So it takes me a few hours for me to sit down and record the videos. Um, and as soon as I've done that, I've finished recording the videos, I will move all my English work aside and I'm like, okay, it's time to reward myself, whatever I'm doing, watching a movie, taking a walk outside, it doesn't really matter. But I'm like, yes, that's done. I did it. Great. Reward
Yes,
yourself and move on. You're ready for the next thing. Maybe the thing you
yes.
like more.
Yes, and look back, in this way. I never do look back for the past, but in this way, it's nice, because compare yourself with where you are now till 1 or 2 years before, and then you see, oh, I that's already better, and I grew in that, and I grew in that, and I mean, you will make mistakes your whole life. That's for sure.
Mhm.
I know, and I'm not a wise person, but it's normal that you make mistakes, because that's the school of life,
Mhm.
so, as someone said, always to grow farther and to get more out of life. So
Mhm.
accept it and say, okay, but now that I look back, wow, you see what I all did and how far I already come.
Exactly, because people forget how far you've come. I have it also with maybe my video views where I'm like, okay, today my video just got 5,000 views. Imagine a few years ago where I was like, my video got 5,000 views? Oh my, that's crazy. That is crazy. Like, let's see how far you've come. And this is just one example. I can do it with many things. Like, if it's exercising, if it's your English, if it is who you are, the people you are meeting, the things you are doing, it can be in so many different places. Just sometimes you have to get out of this moment where you're so feeling bad about these things and look at the bigger picture. Take a deep breath. Be like, okay, but 2 years ago, actually, I'm doing much better than I did back then. I'm still not great, and that's perfectly fine. I have room for improvement. Great. Let's see what I can do about it.
Yeah, yeah. And you said not in the now, but actually, don't
Mm-hmm.
look back for the other things because the past is over and the
Mm-hmm.
future is not there yet. You don't know what
Mm-hmm.
happens in the future, and what has
Yes.
happened in the past. You can learn from it, but don't think about it too much because it makes you
No,
miserable.
I think it's about putting it in perspective. You know, your
Yes.
life is a bigger image, and you are not at the start or at the end. You are somewhere in the middle or before the middle of your life. So everything does matter. But indeed, especially when it comes to negative thoughts, don't look too far into the past. Like, why does this always happen to me? Okay, but it doesn't have to happen tomorrow or right now. Um, so when it comes to these negative thoughts right now, I would say, take a bigger picture.
Yes, and one thing more is, of course, fear. Fear is the biggest one in our life. Just
Hmm.
try to jump in the deep, which is very very difficult because you know what you have now and you don't know what you get. But if you never try to jump in the deep, you won't get further and you won't get new experiences. Okay, it's safe and you stay behind your computer and everything is okay, but I think everyone has challenges and want to go has a target or in his life. So just jump in the pool and well, you'll see.
Yes, I like somebody is saying another thing is that the future is not fair. And I think that's because you assume something is going to happen in the future, something good, because I don't expect anything from the future. So whatever happens is supposed to happen based on the things I'm doing right now. And sometimes things happen that maybe are not supposed to happen because you're just unlucky. But to say that the future is unfair is kind of impossible because the future is not there. It's not a thing.
No, the future is not there and it will not be there because there's only this moment. But I can imagine what the person said because sure, the world is not the nicest place at the moment. But to have fear about it or to say, well, I bet I can't do that, you never know what happens in the world. It doesn't help you. It makes you only sad and down. And it's
Mhm.
difficult. I mean, I know it's difficult. It's when you look around and you say, "Where is this going?" Well, I say I can have sleepless night about it, but I can also stay here and try to have a nice time here and help people around me here, because I can't do anything about it. It happens when it happens. Um, that's that's for sure. Things happen
Mhm.
without knowing or that you want it. Some things happen. Winter is coming. We can't say we don't want. I would like to say I don't want winter, but winter is coming. I can't do anything about it.
Mhm. Although Manu is saying, but the present affects our future. Of course, the action you take right now is what is
Yes.
going to affect the future. But there's only so much you can do, you can affect. There are many things you can do nothing about. Some things just happen, and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it because it's not in your power to change these things. If an airplane falls on your house, it can happen.
Yeah.
You get into a car accident, it's not always your fault. It's unfortunate. Um, so what we are talking about is the things you can actually influence and do something
Yeah.
about right now.
Yeah. And Vainea said, "Do we need to change our physical look to boost our self-esteem?" I don't know what does it mean. What do you understand the question?
This has to do with self-confidence. Confidence, remember, is the outside. Self-esteem is the thing you value about yourself. And you can definitely value the way you look. And if you don't feel good about that, you can choose to work on these things just like anything else. Because I think it is important. Both of these things influence each other. Like your mind is influenced by the things you say. It's the same as your values are influenced by the way you look. Because some days you look in the mirror and all you see is a bag of potatoes. Nobody really wants to see that, I guess.
I
You
love
wanna,
potatoes.
look good for yourself. And I feel a lot of times, this is what girls always say, right? It's not like I don't do my makeup for you. I do it for myself, because it makes me feel good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and if someone said it's living in and now. Actually, if people are very interested in it, really a very nice guy to follow is Eckhart Tolle. He is always talking
Mhm.
about living in and now. It has no use to look at the future or the past. He helped me a lot too.
hmm Eckhart Tolle is the writer of the Power of Now book we
Yeah,
talked about before. Listen, everything affects everything else. So anything that's within your power to change and you think if you change it, it's going to be better, do it.
yeah.
Even if it's just starting with cutting your nails or washing your hands. Uh, like we said, small steps.
Small steps, and don't be too hard on yourself. Be soft for
Mm.
yourself too. And there are a lot of people who are very hard on themselves, especially people who are perfectionists. Uh, they don't allow an 8, they want a 10. And then you are so hard on yourself. That's I think, but it's my opinion, it's not so good. Be nice for yourself, and forgive yourself sometimes that it is a 6 and not a 10. You did what you did. You did your best, and you're failed. Well, it's not failing, but you didn't get what you want.
Exactly. Yes. But I do think, I'm not a perfectionist, but I do want things as good as I can make them. And I often believe that the first time I do something is never the best. So I'll restart it and do it again. But there has to be a moment where I say, okay, this is what I gotta go with. I can't just keep changing it forever. So this is what I'm gonna go with, and I finish it, and the next time I'll do it better. Sometimes you have to accept, like my mom says, that things aren't the way you maybe imagined they would be, as perfect as they are in your dreams.
Yeah, well, and that's also this
Mhm.
nice part of you. This is who you are too. Yeah, it's just challenging, I think, to not to be perfectionist, but try it. Try to make little step, not 100%, but 95%.
It's challenging at times not to be a perfectionist. Yes, I know. I can work on things forever. Like I've been working on the course forever because I feel like if I, my videos are free. So I allow myself to make mistakes in those videos, even though I want better quality than the average free video. But for a course where I'm asking you for value in return, I feel like it has to be on a higher level than my average. And so I have restarted the course 4 times. I've written the course completely for 3 times, and I restarted it. This is what I often do. When I feel something is not the way I think it is, I can just restart it. I have a lot of patience, but sometimes I have too much patience. And I just gotta say, okay, this time it has to be like this. I put enough value in. I did my drafts. I did my work. And this is the best I can make it for now. And I will learn new things. I will improve myself. And in the future, it's going to be better. But at this moment, this is how it is. And maybe this is who I am. And that's okay.
Yes, and it helps because then you finish some things. Otherwise, you go on and on and on, and you won't get it finished.
hmm Exactly. That's why you still don't have the course.
But it will come.
I'm
It
working
will
on it.
come. That's for sure.
It will come.
And
Absolutely.
people, please love yourself. Yeah,
Mm.
that's so important. Don't depend on the love from another person. I mean, sure, we
Mhm.
all want that, and it's nice and it's necessary, but it's not that necessary. Love yourself for who you are. You are the way you are. That's good.
And love yourself for all the positives and negatives that you have, because we all have a
Yes.
weakness and some things we can't just instantly change, and that's okay. Just work on the things you can work on today and try to make it a little better for tomorrow.
Yes, you can do it, and perhaps it takes your whole life. For me, it takes my whole life. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
older now, but I still learn every day, and also there's some things in me that I still want to change, but that probably won't change. Actually, I I accept them already
Pretty
because
sure they're not gonna change. You're like, well,
what do you
I'm stuck
mean?
with
What do
it.
you mean? What do you
Nothing to do
mean?
about it now. Welcome to the party.
Yeah. So yeah,
Mm,
you don't
yes.
understand Dutch, but it's such a nice song, and you always have those love songs in your streaming. It's always about
Mhm.
a girl and a boy and a boy and a boy, and this song is about I love myself. It's a really lovely song. I love myself. I
Mhm.
love myself, and so beautiful. That's the
Yeah.
real song for me.
Exactly. That is a great topic also for a listening practice live stream. Songs about self love.
Yeah, that's you
But
can
anyway,
try
I do.
that as one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I do want to thank everybody for their cooperation today. And I know for
Yes.
some it's just a listening practice, but I hope some of you also definitely learn from it because I don't know how much we have to add today, but I feel like we're coming to a close.
Yes. Yes. Well, I want to
Lucas, your
thank.
mom is really inspiring. You can tell her. She can read your comments,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you very much, Camilla, Ruth, and other people who already made compliments. Sure, I'm glad with them because uh, if everyone would say to me, "You better get off the internet," I wouldn't sit here anymore. I hope to inspire and to support you a little bit in the things you struggle with, or
Mhm.
and I think it's very interesting and but also very nice that we can put positive things in it because life is a challenge, but there are a lot of positive things.
Hmm. Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's the point of everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. We
But
see all the thank yous. Thank you, Lily, and thank you, Genevieve. Thank you,
yes,
Curlex,
thanks.
Rianti,
Thank
Doris.
you.
It is like a podcast, Doris. Exactly. That's kind of what we were looking for with this specific live stream. Sort of a podcast, but with some interaction with you guys to share the ideas and feelings. To
Yeah.
help anybody out that's watching or watching in the future, because everything is being recorded.
Yes, and you will go now to Vietnam, so we don't know if
Mhm.
it's next month possible. But if there's a topic, I would love to hear now what people want to hear the next time, because I always it's not I sit behind and I'm talking in the wilderness. I always preparing myself for the topic.
Yes.
I'm not a doctor or a professor, so
Yes, any topics right now would be suggestible. Emotions is what we did last time. We did not upload that live stream yet because there were some very personal pieces in that live stream which I'd have to cut out. But in the next week, I don't have the time for it. So if you're gonna get that live stream, or at least pieces of the live stream, you'll get it in 2 or 3 weeks. And I will be sure to upload at least two or three pieces of that live stream every single week. So if you have the patience, then we have the
Thank you.
emotional live stream for you. Any other
Well,
topics you saw?
no. But if there are not topics, it's perhaps interesting. I thought about asking for help or how you can help other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's something.
How to be there for others. Bullying could be a topic. Anxiety, stress.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. Forgiveness. Oh,
Bullying.
you're making it tough, Sion. Forgiveness. Wow, that's a good one. Resilience. Hmm. I like it. I like it. I'm also screen recording the live stream, Mom, so if I can give you the thing.
Thank you,
Loneliness and
Renea, and all the
happiness.
others. Thank you for everything, for
Hiya,
your nice
forgiveness.
comments.
Exactly, Buddha. Unconditioning yourself. Since today we're talking about conditioning. Yeah, that's a whole live stream on its own, definitely.
That's a difficult one too.
Good. Mm. I
Yes.
like, yeah, the topic of forgiveness is really interesting. You can definitely write that down.
Yeah.
Resilience is also very interesting. Resilience through problems, things you face in life. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely you. I thought so.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out.
So we just want to say thank you, I think, to everyone for being here. We
Yes. Thank
appreciate
you.
you, and
Yeah.
you should appreciate yourself.
Thank you very much. And also in the things you mentioned on the chat and so on, because I think we're in it together. We all have our experiences, and together we can learn from each other. I can learn from you, and hopefully I can give you something
Mhm.
back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now you guys know where I got it. The free English, giving back. That's how we do it. All right. Thank you, Mother, for joining the live stream. We
Okay.
appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. I don't know when, but soon.
Someday soon. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, goodbye, everyone. Bye bye. Till next time.
Thank you for joining our live stream with my mom about self esteem. We have gone through the questions, the definitions. We have talked about being invisible, about conditioning, and we have answered some of your questions. Any more questions? Be sure to join us on Discord or Telegram. You're welcome to ask or go to my mom's account. Advice by mom. Send me a private message. Thank you for being here. Have a good night. See you guys later.